Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome. This is a Quantum Conversation Summit series. This is Timelines, creating the highest benevolent outcome. This is where we are definitely in our power. And today we are talking about manifestation seeds. My guest today is Alissa Jane Lepska, and she is such a treasure in what she brings forward, especially creating consciously with sacred sexuality. Our pleasure is actually an ascension tool. We're going to learn about that, and we're going to learn about manifestation seeds. Hi, Alissa. Welcome.
Thank you, Loren. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
So let's talk about timelines, because this is something that folks may not be exactly clear on how we can truly be empowered and create the timelines of our choosing. We are not just dusts in the wind. We are powerful co-creators. So when you think about timelines, how do you navigate timelines? How do you identify what is in the past and needs to be collapsed or shut down or forgotten or erased or dismantled? And then how do you program moving forward?
Beautiful question. And this is a really important aspect when we're wanting to be conscious time travelers, timeline jumpers, bridge builders, is navigating how does it feel, right? Where are we at in this? And a really important part to all of this is to understand that it is truly the consciousness, our belief systems, that have created the structure in which we are engaging with the timelines at this moment. So the first step is kind of recognizing, well, where are you at? Do you believe in timeline travel? Do you believe that time is an illusion? Science knows time is an illusion, but in our very, very busy world, it's hard to wrap our minds around it, right? Especially growing up, we were always on the clock, right? Class starts at this time, class ends at this time. So even as a young child, you go to school and you're looking at the clock, you're thinking about time being very linear. And this is an illusion. This is a complete false illusion. Time is happening spontaneously, spiraling all at once. It is all happening at once. This is the biggest part, to open up your ability to be a time traveler, okay? So after you start to believe in this, understand it as truth, even though we're not quite living it that way, we weren't brought up living it that way, we don't get it in the beginning. It is an illusion. And if you can believe that, then all of a sudden the idea of past and present becomes a little wonky, okay? And so that's really the first step, Loren, to the idea of how can we play with timelines, how can we play with time travel? And realizing that it is a spiral. Okay, it's not linear. It's always spiraling. So when we want to address something in the past versus something in the future, the best way to do this is to start with centering. And that is how we will be able to identify what feels like, oh, that was behind me, that was in front of me. So doing a daily practice of centering is going to be a really important aspect to consciously time traveling. Because from your center, then you can see all the different angles, you can feel it. So very often in our busy days, many people don't get a chance to center. I know I have a lot of friends and family that are very busy. They have children, and the second the day starts, they're out of bed and they have to go begin tasks. The daily routine, and it's hard to find your center point. So this is something we'll talk more about. How do you easy ways to center? Because this is how we can control our reality. Okay? So one thing that I really like to think about with timelines is when I was a little girl, it was Back to the Future, where it was like the movies that came out. That was the beginning for me to even think about it. Like, oh, this idea of time traveling. My mother read a lot of books. We had a lot of sci-fi books around, so there was like different, talk around the idea of parallel realities. And I remember feeling so like, I want to know more about that. Especially the idea of parallel realities. But I couldn't wrap my head around it. It was really, really befuddled me as a teenager. I remember feeling very like I couldn't even think beyond it, but I knew I wanted to know more. So from a little girl, I knew that I was attracted to this idea that there's more to what we're experiencing. There's a bigger picture. Um, so I don't know if I answered that question perfectly, but I think it's a good start.
I absolutely love that. And I can feel the power in that. And the fact that time is spiral. So we can always access various points where things were not good. And I love, and we can reprogram and change it. Again, this is our conscious steering of our consciousness, let's say. I love that word. And so let's talk about centering, because that really is the key, as you said. The first part is centering. Centering also allows time to be bent, right? The great mystics talk about what is necessary to actually bend time. If we're running late somewhere, have you ever had that experience where how is there enough time in the day? But when we slow down, center ourselves, magic happens. Can you go deeper into this?
Yes, I love that. I love that so much. And as you're talking about it, I'm getting those memories of when I was feeling really stressed about time projects and when I would take that moment to slow down and invite in the guides and magic would happen. And then especially driving in the car when you're late, okay? and and it is not worth it to rush for many different reasons. And to invest that time into asking the guides to support, to guide, and to help you, that will help mold and shift and bend the time. So the centering process, and this is a really important aspect to the idea of sacred sexuality. For as we've been teaching it together, Loren, doing these classes together, you're learning that sacred sexuality is not just about sex. It is the energy of the body, different centers, and we're learning how to use our body, our technologies, so that we are in control, that we are the captains of our ship. So the heart portal technologies, that is the first place to center. This is an easy way to center everything in your life just through your breath, your intention, and your awareness. So I love that you just kind of noted that it's this idea that we have an awareness and intention, and it's so gentle, it's so soft. So we're aware of our intention. We're having an intention to be aware, and you focus on your heart breath. Every time you do it, it's different, right? So sometimes it can feel very emotional if you're needing to release, if you're needing to move static and electricity out of your system. It very often will always feel very calming. So it's just a moment. And all you have to do is go into your center and breathe. And I like to journey there. That's one of the gifts and skills that comes to me naturally, and I love to teach it to others because we can all do it. So if you have more time, you can let yourself enter into your heart well. And there you can be more active in the breath, in seeing the threefold flame, the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine, the sacred child as one, the fleur de lis. So this, balancing this sacred relationship of father, mother, child within through the breath is a very easy way to center.
And when you are doing that breath, focusing on the father, mother, child, what's going on there? Can you take us through a mini little process?
Yes, yes. So the beautiful spark of divinity, which each one holds within their chest, is the balance of a beautiful blue flame, a beautiful pink flame. And when these two flames come together, they create the violets, which is why each one of us is a powerful alchemical being. And then from the marriage, the union of the feminine and the masculine, the pink and the blue, the gold of the child, the wisdom and illumination of the golden child is created through the union of the pink and the blue. So it becomes a very unifying breath within, and it doesn't require knowing exactly why it's happening or what's happening. We can let go of the ego mind. We can let go of the reasoning mind, because as soon as you just center yourself, and because we're busy, you don't have to close your eyes to be doing this, but if you can quiet yourself for 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you're going to have a huge catapult. So centering yourself, closing your eyes, we can do this right now. Just focusing on the light within your chest. And with each breath, breathing into this center light. And as you exhale, flaming, fueling these flames, building these flames. Yes. With each breath, staying focused on your center and letting yourself take a little journey to your center well. For within the center of the heart is a well. It holds your heart waters, and it is the source of the threefold flame within you. Taking a moment now to find your center in this well, taking note of the shape, the size, and in the center you will see these flames. The blue, Divine Father, the pink, Divine Mother, and from them, the gold, Divine Child aspect. And through this very gentle breath, you will start to feel your heart open. And with this, resistance lowers and your energy can flow. And you can become one with the field, which knows exactly where you need to go, exactly what you need. And as we are centered here, taking a moment to look at the top of your well. And at the very top of the well is a cup, and this cup fills all other cups. And it is the house, the spot, the anchor point for our mission blueprint, how we can access our mission. Just breathe into this with awareness, intention, letting your light tickle and rise up to align with your mission blueprint, which has no limitations of time. And there is a golden spiral staircase around the well that is leading up, up, up. And it will bring you higher up. Take a moment now to walk up this golden staircase above your mission blueprint, and you will enter a door into your high heart temple. And in the high heart is the library of your personal Akash. Every record, every bit of information, everything you need is here. Every lifetime you have ever had, every lifetime you will ever experience. And when you breathe into and access this temple, you bypass time and space. And you can let yourself send a little gratitude here to all your records. The perfect record will come out now, preparing you for the next chapter ahead. Usukuwa, yes? You can let yourself go back down the spiral staircase of gold DNA into your heart well. You can let yourself go into the waters and rest here. And you are centered. You are anchored. And from this place, you can let your pillar drop down and really anchor yourself here, embodied, multidimensionally, aligned with your mission blueprint and aligned with all aspects of yourself. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Whew. So that was a quick little easy, and I'm not sure how long that was. That felt more like 6 minutes, so I think I did a little longer. But that's an easy way to align with the heart, align with our mission blueprint, because if we can align with that, then a lot of the time we don't need to do a lot of planning. We don't need to worry. So that takes care of the idea of time that we need, activities we need to do. And then above that is the high heart, which is the personal Akash. So this is literally breaking the dimensions of time within us, because we hold the records of every lifetime we've ever had and every lifetime we will ever experience. We can access this just through our breath. So this is an easy exercise to take a lot of the legwork and hard work out of living when we trust that this alignment will bring us where we want to go.
Trust. I love that word, that when we are centered like this, thank you for taking us there. And I just heard that last night. You need to trust. Again, getting out of the timelines, getting out of perceived timelines of the shoulds. We should be doing this. We need to work hard. That sort of thing. From a centered place, all falls by the wayside.
Yes.
So beautiful. Thank you for those few precious moments, because this is really powerful and it can be done anywhere. Anyone can do it anywhere. If we're waiting in line, waiting.
That's right.
That is a perfect time. If sometimes I'm guilty of this as well. The waiting, why are we waiting? Well, using that waiting as an opportunity to center. So that is a very powerful tool, and one that will change the field around us when we're out and about in the collective and even in our own space. Thank you. Okay. So talking about creating consciously with sacred sexuality. And there's something called manifestation seeds. This is really interesting. Can you share with us what's happening here? What do you mean by manifestation seeds and how do we work with them?
Yes. So we're always manifesting, right? It never stops, it never turns off. This is the aspect of creation. It is the laws of the planet, of the galaxy, the universe, and it is all in the realm of what we call the law of attraction. So I know everybody listening has done a lot of research, has learned a lot, has taken classes around this concept. I think it's 20 years now that The Secret came out, right? And that's crazy to think about. And I remember where I was when I saw it. I think probably most of us here do, that feeling of where were you? When did you see it? Because it
Yeah,
was a paradigm shift for me.
absolutely. And now it seems, I'm sorry to interject here, but now it seems like elementary. It seems like kindergarten, doesn't it?
Yes.
But at the time, I do remember where I was and what I was doing in the situation, and
Yes,
it brought such hope, didn't it? It brought such hope.
that's
Okay.
right. That's right. Yes, no, that was perfect. And that, right? So that, and like you're saying, it's elementary. It won't be too long before this is a concept being taught in kindergarten. Right? Like that's where we're going with it because it is very basic information that for some reason has been veiled. So this idea that we are controlling, that we are in control of our reality through consciousness. Okay, this is a really important aspect to creation, to conscious creation, because we're always manifesting. So how do we want to be conscious about it? All right. I have been following many teachers. I also love information. So every day I'm always learning something new, watching a show, reading something. One of my favorite teachers that I have been very inspired by, I maybe the most, is Neville Goddard. So this technique that I'm going to talk about is very connected to the way he shared information. And this idea that to create something, to consciously create it, you need to have an idea of what you're creating. That's really important to know what you want to create. But you don't have to worry about how to get there, and you don't have to worry about all the steps in between. So the first step is what do I want and the why. The why is an important aspect because it creates the vibration around it. And your whys, everyone on this planet has good whys. We want to help our family. We want to help others. We want to be our best self. We want to make a difference, right? So everything that we want, when we think of the why, it starts to create that structure for it. And in that process too, Loren, is healing, right? And you can look at your last 20 years of creation through using the methods of The Secret. The idea of consciously attracting is that if there's density or lower programs in the way, those are going to show themselves. So this is a healing experience when you are creating consciously, and when you feel like, "Ah, it's not working out, it's not happening." It is a beautiful part of the process that it is the densities and the old programs that are stopping us from creating consciously everything we want in every moment. They come up to be surfaced. They come up to be cleared and to be cleansed. So this is an aspect of when you're consciously creating. You're going to have some challenges as part of the initiation. Back to the seed packages though. So not to worry about everything that needs to be done. This is maybe one of the most important aspects because that can feel so overwhelming. That can feel like so much resistance, right? As an example, you know, you could say, okay, I really want to create this business. I love making chocolate. I've always wanted to make chocolate. I want to be a chocolate maker. And you get all excited, and then all of a sudden you start to say, well, I don't necessarily have all the tools I need. Where am I going to get my supply of cocoa beans? Right? You start to go through all of the steps, and then the resistance comes in, right? And that resistance stops many people from thinking they deserve it, from thinking it can happen. Okay. So, what this technique that I love so much and that I love to share, it is simplifying this. Okay. It is simplifying the idea that we have to do it all and that it's all up to us. So, when we're creating a seed package, okay, we're creating this manifestation seed. We start with the what are we creating? Why are we creating it? And then, aha, this is the juicy part. All you need to do is focus on the very end result. So the end result, how would that look? And that can be a challenge to really think about it. But then you create this seed package of everything in between. The what do you want? Why do you want it? And then the end result. So this aspect Neville calls living from the end. And when we can live from the end, we are in a place where we have already received it. It's a little bit different than the idea of the law of attraction. It's the same law. It's the idea that vibration and frequency attract the same vibration and frequency, or it will be shown to you in the field. This is the law. So when we're living from the end, we are going to the place that we've already have what we're asking for. This then, the law of attraction, you're going to attract this circumstance. And it is amazing. It is a beautiful way to create, Loren, because then you can let go, you can trust and surrender, and the unfolding of the seed packages becomes really exciting. And that's what life should be about. We want to enjoy it. If we knew what was going to happen in every moment, we wouldn't necessarily be here anymore. Right? So this idea of being in this spiraling time, so we don't have to worry about time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough resources. And trusting we will attract everything we need by holding the vibration of the end moment of what we want. What do you think about that?
I am thinking about the ways that I use that in my life. And I want to say it absolutely does work because it's a vibration. This is vibrational living, isn't it? It's allowing us to feel the vibration. And we may at times think it's our imagination, but what is our imagination? Where does the imagination come from?
Yes.
And so, it just takes determination then, because the resistance that could come up, right? If we're holding a vision of what we want, but yet we go into the logistics, we can easily throw our hands up. I did that myself for years, for years. And then when I would ask my guides, how can I do this? Like, particularly with my radio show, I was shown, my guides were showing me three different examples of ways that I could be and manifest because I asked it for it. But my own resistance saw it as competition instead of my guides giving me the answer. So years went by in my personal timeline, years went by because I was in my own way. And so that's really powerful. Finally, when I went to Peru, did sacred ceremony with Pachamama, really supported in that way. really supported in the vibrational image that I was desiring. And then I came home from that trip, still going about the usual routine of what I would do, how I would get a show done and put it out. And I heard very loudly and clearly my guides were saying, stop. And then I was shown the image again of what I wanted. And
Wow.
they showed me steps that I needed to take to get there. And that's when it really switched and turned and changed. And I attribute that to Pachamama and all the beautiful guides and my own vision and desires. So it's really powerful. It really works. And the key is not to override our intuition. Like my guides shouted at me, stop what you're doing.
That's right. That's right.
Make that one little change. And so when you said earlier, the trust, we really do. The trust is what will sail the sailboat. It is the wind in the sails that
Mhm.
keeps us moving towards the direction of our dream. The
Mm.
trust, right?
Yes. And as you're talking about trust, it is a sonic code, an awakening code. So every time we hear it, every time we say it, it does something to us. Ooh, it's doing it to me right now. And it is also an archangel, and this archangel wants to lift humanity. And the code that this archangel, one of the codes it holds is the butterfly. And the butterfly has to go through a process, right? The butterfly goes through the stages. So we're activating this trust more fully within each one now, letting Archangel Trust come sit next to you and be part of your life more fully. And as I'm listening to you, Loren, I'm thinking about many different memories are coming up, and I know each one listening is getting a lot of remembrances coming up, as this is a very activating conversation. And what you're talking about there, that's the healing aspect, right? So not to get discouraged, because if you're, we've all come in with different programming on a personal level. We've come in with programming to be part of the greater collective programming. We've come in with personal family programming that can feel very outside of us almost, but we've come in to heal the bloodlines. So when we're making these great demands of what we want, those programs come up, right? They come up. And this is when we have to reach out for help and get support, because we just need a little push during these times. And even Loren, with all of the amazing teachers you've had for support, you have to go through your own process. I have to go through my own process of healing. So thank you for sharing that example, because now I think everyone can see, wow, right? How the programming of lack, limitation, and competition, the imposter programming that comes up and says, no, you're not good enough. You can't do that. Don't even try. Right? And everyone feels it. So we look around and we think some people have it all figured out, successful people. No, they just keep going and working through this process. So I'd love to share a little bit more around how do we know we're changing timelines? What are some quick, easy things we can do? Because once you get through a lot of the healing, and once you open up your consciousness to believing in the possibilities, all of a sudden things get really weird. Okay? This is the next step. And in the process of things getting weird, you can put up resistance and say, this is too weird. I can't deal with this anymore. And then you can push away the intentions that you've been calling in. So when we are timeline traveling, merging, jumping timelines, one of the biggest things that happens is literally history is changing around you. So if you have a family and if you have a relationship, this can be very challenging, because everybody, for some reason, we are also really construct it to want to feel right. Okay? We got to let this go. This is the first and maybe the most important aspect to time traveling, is to let go of the idea that you need to be right, or that something happened in a certain way, a timeline happened in a certain way. It just happened to me yesterday with my partner in a beautiful way where I was in the moment and I realized it was happening and I didn't react. Okay. And he is working on a job right now and he's a builder and the people are away. I swear, I mean, I have a full memory of having conversations that the people had come home a few days ago. And yesterday, he's talking to me, and then he's saying, no, they didn't come home. Okay, that normally would have put me into a spin because the first part would have been, well, no, we talked about it. I know we talked about it. This is what you said, right? And it was all happening. Like I could go into that place of feeling like I'm right, you're wrong, or I could feel like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something like wrong with my brain and my memory? I immediately went to those two places very quickly, and he was starting to react. He was starting to get mad, and I was like, well, what are you mad about? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, apparently we just had a misunderstanding, and I let it go. So as opposed to arguing with him or wanting to be right, I had to let that experience go because I have jumped a timeline. We have jumped timelines. And for some reason, literally, a chain of events has changed. Okay? This is an important aspect.
That brings up the Mandela effect. And I love how you were able to move through that, surrendering,
Yeah.
letting it go, because I have witnessed that myself in relationships and understandings where you're literally wondering if you're going crazy or if the other person has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
It's not funny, but this is
No.
where it's shifting.
Yeah.
We are each in our reality bubbles. And when the reality bubbles merge, we're kind of like, wait, that's not how I remember it. But see, our reality bubbles are separate and we perceive things separately. It's like that telephone game when we were kids, when we hear a story and you have to repeat it. By the time it goes around the circle and comes back to you, it's a completely different story. And that's what's happening here with the Mandela effect. And so as you were able to let that go, you created peace. And then that new timeline, what happened with your timeline there? Tell us.
Exactly, right? And for me, I'm not really worried about the details of, oh, well, what timeline did I go to? Where am I at? I'm just going to the place of surrender, the place of trust, and
Yes.
just recognizing we have had some sort of timeline journey here. So it didn't really come up in another way. And right, and so this is an important aspect that how do we know it's happening? Nothing really personally is happening to me, but it's you'll see the circumstances outside of yourself with others. Okay? Um the healing, right? So as soon as deep healing comes up when you're in the process of making your spiritual demands, okay, that's a timeline travel. That's letting you know you're changing timelines and to be present with your process of healing. So every time deep emotional baggage comes up, we're going back in time. Okay, Loren, this is perfect. Yeah, see that this was your first question. This is one of the ways to know when you're going back in time is when the deep trauma is coming up to be surfaced. And you can spiral it, bring it forward into the healing of the now moment, rewrite it, rewrite it. Oh, it's so beautiful. So when things are getting wonky, weird, when you feel weird, okay, it's hard to describe, to put it in words. Sometimes you just feel this shift of energy, like all of a sudden, wow, what's going on? Everything feels different. Timeline jump. Sometimes you might feel the whole planet like do a jump. It's not an earthquake. It's like literally you feel that everything just go like a quick. That's a timeline jump. It's these very, very gentle awarenesses that you start to then recognize so that you don't feel like you're going crazy. Because when we are timeline traveling, we all of a sudden it can feel like you're going a little crazy. So that be gentle with yourself. That's another way you know you're timeline traveling is when things feel so weird and wonky. Okay? Another thing that can happen is, and I know this has happened with you and I, Loren, is you're talking and then literally no one remembers what they're talking about anymore. Like everything, the energy has shifted so much. You're just like, well, what was I talking about? Not in the general way I forgot something, because that happens, but you know a bigger way of like, oh, we have changed a timeline. And so this is goes back to not worrying about being right. Okay, letting go of this idea of needing to be right and letting go of needing to remember everything, even if you're in the moment. You know, you can want to be so on top of it and feel so, be so clear and confident. And so then when we go into a place of forgetting what we're talking about or forgetting what's on our mind, then you can go backwards really quickly and say, oh, I didn't want to do that. That sucks. But no, no, no. You've just time traveled. You've just gone to a different timeline. So this process is an art of feeling it, of loving yourself in the process, and of really loving your family. Because right, when you can see how the different timelines are happening, that's the other really important aspect that you touched on. You gain compassion for those other people that are maybe in different timelines where they're struggling. And this is where we're going with New Earth. We've been talking about it for decades. What is New Earth? Well, it's here right now. And it's here simultaneously in union with Old Earth. Timelines being played out. So you're going to be going to the store, you're going to be going to the post office, wherever you go, and you're going to see all of these timelines. This is what New Earth is about. It's merging, of course, so it's going to be different, right? Who knows what it will be next year or the year after. But right now, we're in a place of choice, constant choice of what timeline do you want to play in. So if you are around family or friends and they're playing in a lower timeline, just walk away. Don't play in their timelines. Let them work it out. You also don't, right? The aspect of letting go of being right is everyone gets to be in their own personal timeline with their own personal healing, with their own process. So we don't need to fix other people or control them either. But of course, we can help lift them up and we can bring them into the higher timelines when they're ready. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I think we're all looking back at conversations that we've had where we can see, I've seen this in my own conversations with my husband, a spiraling where we'll go off on tangents, but then it'll always come around. And so we're creating timelines. You've really helped to identify what's happening here. We are together creating timelines, moving out of our independent timelines.
Yes.
And wow, okay, that might be hard for some to understand, but just this idea of feeling how things change is the timeline jump. And it can change just from a conversation, right? Just a conversation can make us shift perspectives. So shifting perspectives is a timeline jump as well. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why prayer is so powerful. That's why when we are praying for another person, we can lift them out of the timeline they're in. And this is the basis of metaphysical healing, that the power of even the way we think about someone can shift their timeline. So the power of prayer, praying for another, this is how we're going to help merge and bring positive timelines uplift them together. Yeah, there's a lot here, and I'd love to just share this because you're talking about how this is going to be an opening experience. And so I love that, yeah, we're cracking open the way we're thinking about this. To think about timelines, right now, you and I are having a personal conversation. And within this one-on-one conversation, we are creating the timeline that you and I are on together, Loren. However, we also have our own timelines that we are on separately. So just together, here's 3 timelines, very simply to think about it. Now, in this very progressive way of the world, we are also in an aspect of alive and a show that will be on the replay as well. So every time someone watches it, it expands timelines, right? So just this one conversation that you and I are coming here to have is creating infinite timelines. And so, right, and imagine then how many timelines are being created in this moment around the world. And then to wrap our head around it, that it's actually already all been created. But it's still expanding. So this is where our human ego mind starts to get really uncomfortable, which is why we go to the jungles, we go to the earth to take sacred medicine to help rewire the way we think, right? Because it's really hard to imagine everything's happening at once. It's already all happened, or it's happening right now. We can change it, we can shift it, we can bend it. And it's expanding. That's the other crazy part. Even though it's already happened, it's expanding. It's quite a paradox. It is quite a paradox. And I love the definition of the Mandela effect. Everybody, when after we're done listening, go and look it up. It will make everyone giggle. It's something like it's a collective wrong memory, as opposed to a timeline jump, or as opposed to saying that something has changed. The definition is saying, oh no, collectively everybody remembered it wrong. It's very interesting. It's right. It's so even in science, that we're still breaking these paradigm edges. We're still shifting the way it is understood.
Yes, okay. Thank you for that. That is so amazing. Feeling into that. It is mind expanding as well. And so consciously creating our timeline then. You are a sacred sexuality priestess, a teacher, working with beautiful men, women, individuals, expressing the power of this energy, actually, and how it is used as an ascension tool. So, can you share more on creating consciously with sacred sexuality?
Yes. And there are different aspects to how to utilize and how to practice this. The first part of the path is activating our self-worth, is activating our understanding of we hold everything within. This is ultimately the path of sacred sexuality. So when you feel your self-worth, then you know, I'm here, created by Source, and I am meant to have everything I need, everything that I need, everything that I want. That's an important aspect of consciously creating, because it has no resistance to stop what you want coming towards you. Okay? Through the path of sacred sexuality, one can engage in different techniques. They don't all include sex, but they are all connected to the energy from the sacral. And both men and women have a womb energy. And from this place is where the life force, the Kundalini, the Sekhem, is sourced and cradled. And this is the energy to create. This is the energy of the second chakra. It creates babies. It creates worlds. It creates money. It creates fun. And as I'm talking about it, everyone can see the beautiful orange, radiant color. It is a really fun chakra, right? As we've all learned about the chakras and of course the ascendant chakras and all the different aspects of our beautiful body, right? This is how then we're creating these constructs to create easier, okay? So developing, activating this life force energy. So learning how to activate it with a breath, move it throughout the body, and then bringing it back into the light body. This process creates the body to be very magnetic. So by doing this simple breath work, where you're not even bringing in pleasure, you're just doing the breath work, moving your sacred sexual energy up and down your body, and then bringing it in at a very high level potency, you activate yourself to become a magnet for what you want. So that is another aspect of how to be a more conscious creator, is to be more magnetic. And then we can go into the practice of receiving pleasure, having orgasm, having sex. This becomes super fuel for the creation process. I have talked a lot about this on the Mastery Empowerment course, Power of Pleasure, focuses in on how to use these techniques. So I won't go into it too much more around how to utilize those actual techniques of the orgasm and sacred sexual pleasure. However, all of it is going to create your own constitution, your own circuitry, your own constructs. And this is how we're creating, because we're always manifesting, it never stops. So to be doing it with grace and with ease, we ultimately want to raise our vibration too. So the acts, the path of sacred sexuality, raise the vibration of the body and make one become more magnetic, attracting what they want with greater ease. We are also, through the path of sacred sexuality, cultivating and understanding our body. So we just started with a beautiful heart breath. This is a big part of sacred sexuality, using the heart flame, activating it, centering yourself. And then working with the womb is another aspect. It's a different type of container. So we work with the heart as a container, we work with the womb as a container. And then also the crown and the head is another important container and aspect to work with. So in the idea of creation, to be a really successful creator, you need to have a container to put your ingredients into. And this is the idea of the seed package, right? We are constructing a container that we can put our intentions into. And so there's a few different steps to take, and that's a first step. What are your intentions? Refining them, focusing on the end result. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Practicing there. And when we can then bring these seed containers into the heart, into the womb, and go into very deep states of meditation, we don't have to do it for long, 5, 10, 15 minutes. We go into the subconscious, the fertile soils of the field, where it will receive our seed intentions. It will take in these beautiful seed packages, and it is the law. It will be shown to us. And very often it is first shown to us by things on the television. Right? You're calling in a lot of money. I will often like to see myself as one of the end moments going to the bank and taking out $10,000 to go gift to somebody. I'm not sure who I'm giving it to, which is part of my regular routine. And I will see myself at the bank and I see the counting machine brrr, counting the money. I hear it, I see it, I try to smell it. And then it will be literally, I'll just be guided, like, oh, put this movie on as like a background thing while I'm doing activities, cleaning up. And of course, in that movie, they'll have suitcases of money or that's counting all the money. And yet I won't even realize it. Right. And that's the thing. So it's the first way it's shown to us isn't necessarily in our lives. And because of that, we might discount this isn't working. But so we have to, it's an art to be aware of how it's starting to play out in the field. So if you can see that, oh my gosh, I just planted this in my womb, in my heart today, and I see it on the screen in front of me, that's the first step. It's coming. It's coming. Next, it will be in your hands. And then the next step, I'll be going to my favorite organization and donating it to them, handing them a pile of cash. Yeah.
I love that. I really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you for it. We can really feel the power of that. And it is an art to be aware. It is really an art to be aware. As I shared earlier, I was not aware. I was not very artful when I was asking my guides to be shown. I was asking my guides and they were showing me, but I saw it as competition. Somebody else was already doing that. The unworthy part of me was not seeing that it was already coming, that it was available. And so that's a really very cool lesson. And so this is really wonderful because all of the work that you do, all of the teachings that you do go deeper into this topic. The sacred sexuality, you've got programs right here on this webpage. Folks can scroll down and see the beautiful programs that we've done that are recorded, that are so supportive on the sacred sexuality and the lessons there and how you work with the Kundalini energy and awaken those sleeping serpents and awaken your consciousness. And that, I mean, it's in depth, right? 6 hours on two of those programs. And then the power of pleasure, that's a beautiful one. That's 2 hours. So those are all there. But we're even going to go deeper in this concept in another class that you're going to be teaching. And this is manifestation seeds. So share with us about that course and what we can expect to learn going deeper on this topic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for this new course coming in because I know it's going to help so many. And I love talking about this. I love talking about manifesting almost as much as I love talking about sacred sexuality. And really, they're one and the same. And it's an art to be creating the world that we want, this new earth together. So this is an important topic to share, to get on the same page about. And there's many different paths and tools. So I'll be focusing in this class on this one technique in particular. But this one technique I've cultivated, and it is from the basis of Neville Goddard's technique. I have cultivated, I have added in some other magical juiciness, and then we are going to utilize our body technologies to plant these seed packages in as direct connections to the field, portals to the field. So we're going to feel empowered by this process that I can always do it for myself. It's never outside of me. It's always within me. This will be another mystery school temple experience. And as I bring in and create these courses, I'm working with the guides. The overlights of this class are Ascendant Master Saint Germain, Lady Portia, Lady Nada, Lord Sananda, Mother Mary, and Archangel Raphael. This is the team that has come in, a beautiful 6 beings holding a geometry around each one. And as you sign up for this course, You will be brought into your chamber of light within the ashram. For this course is within an ashram, within a layer of the planet. It is within this beautiful university ashram within the planet, and it is, you could say, this course is being held within a very high level observation starry platform deck of the ashram. So it is connecting each one with their starry nature, is what I hear also. Each course has its own pillar of light that will hold all these frequencies. So as you're invited in, you get to receive this light. So you're receiving information that goes way beyond what I can say. It's the frequency and vibration that will be teaching each one as well. The pillar, they showed it to me, is a beautiful violet, ruby, sapphire pillar. So that's rich, that's potent. There's a lot of love, there's a lot of alchemy, and there's a lot of truth in what we're going to be talking about. So each one will be brought into their chamber as they sign up before the class, being held within the chamber throughout the class, and then there will be an integration chamber afterwards to continue to support you, because healing will come up. Alchemy is going to happen as density and programming comes up. So during the 2 hours together, each one is going to have a very unique experience. Remembrances, release, because the guides are working with each one in their container. So it's going to be a powerful 2 hours. And come with your seed intentions. We're going to talk about this technique, and you can immediately start planting your intentions. What are you working on? Bring them with you. We're going to be planting them within the fertile soils of each one. So you will see results after the class. And if you are not sure what your intentions are, because this is a big part of what comes up with the programming. Sometimes we're not even able to get past our programming to say, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be totally financially independent. I want to be with the man of my dreams, the woman of my dreams, right? Sometimes we don't even feel like we're worthy enough to ask for it. So even if you don't have your intentions, come and you will find clarity and peace around what you need to. If you are feeling blocked in receiving even the ability to ask for what you want. And what I'm also offering as part of this class is a bundle where you can also have a one-on-one session with me. And I'm really, really excited about this, because in the one-on-one session, we're going to clarify, refine, and activate your seed intentions together. And whenever I do this with people, they have powerful results. I hear amazing stories. I'm talking their dream jobs, their money just coming in, magic money, thousands of dollars, their loves traveling from across the world to be able to come and live with them. Extreme things, timeline changes happen very, very quickly with this. So if you're looking for a little bit more support or help, then I'm happy to help you with a little bit more one-on-one.
Thank you for that. I want to say that you are a great facilitator of this. People feel very safe with what they can ask and explore with you. And you're doing this in your own life, in your own journey, and helping others step into this so fully. So we're really appreciative of that, and we're so thankful for it. And my goodness, personal time with Alissa Jane. What a gift. Uh, Look down on this page. It is very, very affordable. I think people would just want that personal time with you, and then the class is just gravy and icing on the cake. Just these extra tools and time together, and the vibration with the collective group is really powerful. So thank you for that, Alissa. Really, it's so generous of you. And as people can see as well, there's another option to get all of your teachings. that go deeper, deeper, deeper. I mean, many hours with Alissa Jane, and it's very supportive as well. And so, wow, get a personal session with Alissa and activate, activate your timelines with your consciousness.
Yes.
Wow, it's empowering. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, it's all here for people to check out. Those who need assistance, there's a 2 payment plan. It's already really affordable, this time with you and the workshop. So I just want to thank you one more time. And this is a good time to maybe close with a vibrational experience. And you said it could be part of the workshop itself. Do you want to lead us on that for just a few moments?
Oh, I'd love to. And I want to thank you, Loren, because if anybody wants to get the package with all of the classes, you have been part of each one. And a really important aspect to anchor this work in as a pillar of light so that it can be brought into the planet grids, so that each one can receive it up through the flowers, the grasses, the waters, the earth, activating worthiness on this planet and love. So thank you, Loren, for being part of this journey with me. I have loved every minute of it.
Likewise. Yes, it's exquisite. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay, got it.
And we will now go into a beautiful journey activation in preparation for the Manifestation Seeds course. This will give each one a little platform and start the process. Taking a moment now to center yourself, quieting your mind, letting go of any worries, concerns, anything that you need to do or you think you need to do. Yeah, just let it go. And as we center here, the beloveds, the overlights, and the beloved teams are activating a beautiful chamber of light around each one now more fully to receive exactly what each one needs, anchored into the heart of Source Creator, anchored into the heart of Mother Gaia Sophia. Breathing into your center, into your heart. With each breath, letting this light grow and build. Finding yourself again at your center well. Taking note, what is the material of the well? Is it stone? Is it marble? Is it mosaic? Maybe it's earth. Letting your feet kick in the waters. Breathing into this moment. Activating your personal portal to Source. And letting yourself submerge into your heart waters. Yeah, that's it. Let yourself go off into the well, letting yourself go under the waters now. Bringing in the energy of your mermaid self, taking note of the depths of your waters, looking down. It is another expansiveness of the heart, the depths of your water well, the depths of yourself. Letting yourself swim to the very bottom now, and you will find a bottom point. You will hit a bottom point now. Yes, letting yourself rest here at the bottom and looking around at the landscape of the bottom of your heart wells. As you are your mermaid, merman selves, what are the colors you see? What is the textures, the codes? Do you see other beings swimming in the waters? And as you look at what is under you, the bottom of the heart well, there is a light point with a door, a round portal disc door. Taking note, what does it look like? What are the colors? Are there any texture, any patterns? These are the codes coming through now through texture, pattern, frequency, color. This round disc portal is a door to your womb. A very quick portal to the womb. We're going to open it now. Yes, let yourself journey down this tunnel. And you will find yourself coming into an entrance, a beginning point, a cave. And you can see there is a great landscape here. You can let yourself come from this dark, moist cave and enter into your Garden of Eden. Looking around, what do you see here in this energy of the womb? A fertile landscape. There will be water. There will be plants and trees. There will be a waterfall. Let yourself be guided to this waterfall now. The beloved overlights are guiding each one. There is one here just for you, supporting you very fully in this moment, centering you, activating your womb with great light and love. Very good. And as you are centered here, let yourself find a beautiful flower to sit upon, or a beautiful seat, a beautiful throne, a center point near the waterfall. It can be centered in the water. And as we practice our imagination, our visionary skills, we're activating the brain centers, the consciousness. And maybe you are feeling this more through frequency, color, sound. It is perfect. Taking note now to look up high upon your landscape, high into mountains where the waters are coming from. Let yourself take a 360 look. Very good. And the beloveds now are activating big, huge screens around this waterfall, like the drive-in movie theater screens, huge, or like a movie theater, a huge, many screens being activated. You may see them as just black or white. This is activating portal points to bring in the visions to activate your third eye consciousness, your imagination. Letting yourself notice now some images on the screens, bringing in some things you enjoy. Perhaps you see your kitchen filled with food and groceries. You see your children playing and laughing. You see happy pets, healthy, wagging their tails, meowing, swimming. You see yourself leaving the bank with a great amount of money to share with others. You see yourself at the bank depositing many checks. Perhaps you just see colors, flowers. This is the beginning of creating the visionary seed plantings that will be received through the fertile soils of your womb. Very good now, beloveds. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We say thank you to the guides that are activating this for each one more fully. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending this love and gratitude to them. Going to let yourself take another moment of gratitude, looking around, and you can come back here anytime you want. You're going to take the journey back up to the heart now, finding yourself back to the entry point. And very quickly you go back up through the portal, up to the doorway that is open. Swim, swim, swim to your heart well. Taking this time now to center it into the heart. Taking another breath now to bring it up into the high heart Akash. Upgrading, updating, integrating. Taking a breath to let this go down your pillar into the heart of the planet, upgrading the planetary Akash. And taking a breath to expand out like a fireball into Source Akash. Very good. Upgraded, updated, axonally aligned, integrated, and fully ready and prepared for you to go back to your womb and begin your visionary imagination, conscious creations. Living from the end is what you want to see. Happy moments, joy-filled experiences, and you will plant them into your field. You will receive the results. You are powerful creators. You are loved and supported. Amen. Thank you, thank you. Amen. It is so. Whew.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is how we create with the womb and the heart well. And that is powerful. Thank you for that beautiful technique, that beautiful meditation. We have shifted. The world has shifted. And this is only the start. So thank you for that. Thank you, everyone, for your imagination, for your intentions, for your dreams, and witnessing them as they've already happened. That is powerful. Thank you. Thank you, Alissa. And so, everyone, we know you're excited to take this further and work with Alissa. It's a beautiful opportunity for the personal session, one-on-one time with her, and absolutely the course and the courses that she's done and have presented for all of us. It's exquisite work, and we're excited to live this way because these, as you mentioned, these are mystery school teachings. This is the way we do it, and there's no longer any need to keep it secret. We can share them and live them. This information is coming forward now. Thank you, Alissa.
Thank you, Loren.
As we say goodbye, I just want to give you a moment for final thoughts. Thank you.
You summed it up so beautifully there. And we're all feeling this upliftment and empowerment. So take this with you, each one. You are powerful creators. You are needed on this planet. You are loved and supported. I love you all.
We send this love right back to you. And I know that so many of these beautiful beings of light working here, listening and watching, powerful New Earth leaders, every single one watching and listening is absolutely thinking of the rest of the planet as a huge why. Our collective why for New Earth is New Earth. And so with that, we're in deep gratitude to everyone for watching and sharing today. And thank you again, Alissa Jane. What a beautiful experience and what a beautiful vibration we are in right now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.